back, of course, yes, it's our danger. I told you, man. I told you from the beginning.
Right.
I told you from the beginning there's danger, and then danger came through. Of course, man. We're moving on to the next story, and this is on the Zanzibar Commission for Tourism, Tanzania, has commenced an investigation into the allegations of robbery and attempted rape by Nigerian tourist Zainab Oladende. This was after Nigerians expressed outrage at the incident, which trended on Twitter and affected the reviews of the Wariri Beach Hotel where the event occurred. Oladende had in a series of tweets on Saturday said she boarded a plane from Lagos to Tanzania and proceeded to lodge in the hotel to celebrate her 23rd birthday. The victim said she was to be lodged in the hotel for 6 days, but a traumatic experience in the facility made her undergo therapy for a year. Oladende said she asked for the man's identity, adding that they ignored and gagged them out to prevent her from calling for help. She said dreadful thoughts of being raped and killed, among others, occupied her mind, as she never knew how the man entered the room, which was locked. So for a background story, you want to help with the background story, or should I go ahead?
She traveled to Zanzibar and in her room, she said she arrived there and she was just tired. She wanted to rest against her birthday, which was the next day. And in the middle of the night, she felt someone rubbing her body.
And she felt it was a dream.
Yeah.
Do you know that type of safe zone?
You just, of course, you locked your door. So what are you?
You get what you could do on safe, what's not there.
You locked your door, so you weren't pressed. It is a 5-star hotel, so
4.5.
Okay, 4.5. Yeah. You feel there is enough security. You feel safe there. And she woke up and she realized that it wasn't a dream. It was actually real. And
I like to
do you know one thing that just stood out for me? The fact that she could recognize the man by his smell. That is to tell you how terribly smelling this man must have been.
And they caught him and they confessed to it.
And I hear that they've released him. Nothing was done about it. This was about a year ago.
The cook was also involved as well.
And nothing was done about it. So you can imagine when she gave us the story up until the point that when she eventually left the room, because she told the man that she's HIV positive. He doesn't understand English. He doesn't understand Swahili. So she was just saying HIV. So HIV stood out to him. So he was like that, okay, he's going to go and get protection and he's going to come back. She should not go anywhere. You can imagine. She should not go anywhere. And when she went out, she saw this same security man and the cook, both of them were discussing, probably looking for the protection to come back to the room. And she didn't walk up to them, only for them to realize the next day that it was actually the two men she wanted to walk up to for help. So this just begs the question, where exactly are women safe? This is not about gender bias or anything. I'm sure if there to be a man, we will not be talking about something like this. Where exactly are we safe? I mean, she did everything she was supposed to do. She gave the right credentials. She locked her door. So of course they got a key, probably the master key or something, and they opened the door and you came in. So where can we go as ladies that we are actually safe? We do not have to worry about.
Woman, because the people asked the wrong question. So this was a woman that was almost killed and raped, right? People asked the wrong question. What were you wearing? What were you doing? What did you do? Yeah, they asked all the wrong. But she did everything right. Yet somebody went into her room.
And now she got past this whole traumatic experience and nothing was done. You can imagine confessing to a crime and still being let go. This is not a case of they're still trying to find the culprit. They already
remorseful.
Remorse. But
I'm just saying, like, that's what they say. Like, but look, to be honest, right, on this story, I was shocked. Because she gave a detailed
explanation and everything
that happened. I felt like I was there.
Even with pictures, videos. Yeah, so I don't know, what do people want?
But that brings us to the big question though. Like, women, we actually need to protect them more than we do. Because if you think about it, so I'm going to bring family into, retrospect in here. So yesterday I spent a lot of time with family, right? My niece, she's always asking for a piggyback ride. Oh, give me a piggyback ride. I'll put it on my back. Then yesterday, my mom called me. She's like, Uncle Pontal, before she would go and get used to this, that there are different uncles out there. Before she would get used to this, and they just carry her to, they will give her piggyback right to the house. She's just 8 years old. Imagine me hearing that happen. Do you understand? Do you know how
I'm going to tell you how scared?
Do you get what I mean? Like, so that just brought me back to life. That okay, sometimes you don't encourage certain things for women, but why does the world have to be like that? Why can't we be happy? Why can't we just do? You know, like we are having fun. She enjoys her uncle giving her a piggyback ride.
But because of the way society
is, her mother is concerned. You know, family, everybody's like, okay. Before she go and get used to it.
Yes, we understand that. Okay, it's coming from a very innocent perspective.
But what about
we can only tell about
what
you.
About
we can't
another person that she's just very comfortable with and she's nice to that person?
And it just seems
like give you a piggyback ride, and then the person just giddy you up till it gets to his house.
Okay, so I leave my house. I'm ecstatic, spent a lot of money. I'm going for a vacation. It's my 23rd birthday. I'm going to Jaye. I'm going to enjoy myself. And for her to want to go
to even travel
solo
on your
traveling,
birthday.
Yeah, for her, exactly. She's going by herself, so she probably really needed that alone time. And I go there only to be faced by something like this. I can only understand, or I can only imagine what she has gone through in the last 1 year, trying to deal with this. How I can't imagine, because you will be terrified. You are going to, you definitely will have PTSD from something like this. You know, this discomfort when you're around people. Yeah.
For a whole long year. And she's coming, I think she's a very strong woman. I think every other woman should speak up. Because this is the time for, you know, women to speak up, because I can bet that this doesn't just happen in Tanzania. It happens.
Yeah, because under the thread where I went to read the thread on Twitter, I saw different people dropping their own stories. Although a good number of these stories we cannot verify them, but this is to tell you that these things, like they always say, in every iota of gossip and everything, there is.
Do you know how many hotels I've been in that I'll probably pass out? Maybe I went out the night before and I pass out, and then I wake up and I see the cleaning lady cleaning the room. And I'm like, okay, how did you get in here?
And
like,
why are you in here? Okay, you got in,
you saw me
and
sleeping.
you are in here
you saw
when
me
I'm
sleeping.
sleeping. When I wake up, how am I supposed to feel? What if I was unplanned? What? You just waltz into a room. It's not as if you've been knocking for a whole day, so it's a cause for concern. We're just talking about over the night, and you barge into the room.
That's not the right time to do it. Some people don't actually follow protocol and procedures out here, especially in these hotels. And I think their security is also very terrible.
Security is always complicit in situations
now, you know,
like
this. The hotel I spoke of, right? You know, they came out with their own statement saying that they had to,
that she took $10,000 and everything in pay for it. I'm like, okay. So
does that pay for a trauma?
No, from the follow-up stories I saw, she said it was the lawyer's compensation. They stole her $1,100, so she spent more times there and everything. So I'm like, okay, even if you give her $10,000, does it make up for trauma? Does it make up for what happened to her and the fact that the perpetrators of this evil act are just waltzing around?
What happens if they even say, okay, now you're a target, you can't come back to Tanzania? If I was her,
because that's what she said. She said that's why she had to leave, because she realized that it's as if they were out to get her at some point.
This lady put out so much videos that she even showed when the police people were kind of assaulting her. Somebody came to report a crime as grievous as rape and attempted murder,
taking it in passing,
and then you take it like it's nothing, all because you took a picture of your police station. Come on.
They're telling her to delete. It just brings back this whole thing when we say women are, will I say, we are always in danger and everything. We are always so security conscious.
With this story, I think I got more empathy for what women
because
go through.
We cannot compare the strength.
Now, me person will come my
exactly. Can you imagine? Because we cannot compare the strength of a man and a woman. No matter how we try to preach for equality, equity, one thing that we cannot take away is the fact that a man is physically stronger than a woman. So if I can fight, if you can fight off a man who is trying to rob you, the circumstances are very different for me, because I do not have the strength that you have. So how then are women supposed to be protected from situations like this?
All you be thinking about, I think, like, you can even be looking behind your shoulder every single time because you're wondering, like, is he behind me again? How did this person? You don't even know how he got there. Do you know how he can come next to you again? You don't even know. To date, there was no place where they said how the guy got in. All we
I really want to see the end of this investigation. I want to see. I want to see it's still building up because she's still putting out tweets. So I want to see how it's going to end. I want to see what they are going to say. I want to see how it's going to be dealt with, and let me see if, of course, they actually leave this man to walk around, despite the fact that he has confessed to this crime.
Okay, so finally, before we move on from the story, one thing I also want to advise women and even men: be aware of your environment, be aware of the things you see, the things you smell, the things. Those are the ways that you can actually report a
taking
crime.
away her eyesight, she was able to tell
smell
based on smell,
and that you could tell that she's woke. She's a very observant person. She was observant. She could smell. She said she was trying to feel his body so that she can describe. So sometimes, right, even in danger, I think keep your mind
sharp
at survival, right? But at the same time, be wise enough to know that if I survive this person must pay. Do you understand what I mean? Like this person,
you have to put that person out of the streets so that someone else will be more unfortunate than you.
Yes, exactly. The best. Anyways, thank you very much for that one, Ilile. And yes, we're moving on to the next story. And of course, for those of you that have joined, I know we started on a bad note, and we're moving to another one. This one's on family and all of that. Nigerian music star JJC Skillz' son Benito has recounted how he was assaulted. Benito's mom recently revealed that the music star assaulted her son, leaving him with injuries. In a video shared on social media, Benito recounted how his father assaulted him after he was expelled from school. According to the young man, after his father picked him up from school, he attacked him on their way home. Benito gave a detailed account of how the music star reportedly hit him inside the car as they drove home. He alleged that he sustained bruises on his face, neck, and ribs. Benito went on to recount how he continued to hit him on their way back and threatened to kill him. The young man said he decided to release the video to clear the air about the crisis in his family. He, however, said he wasn't doing it to chase clout, but he was giving a shout out to everyone. I want to thank everybody who supported me in the yard. You get me? Like everybody who's been there, all my boys in the yard.
But you do know one thing about this video. When I was watching this video, I just thought about it in the Nigerian setting. You have. You would not be able to put out a video like this. Okay, apart from the fact that he threatened to kill him and everything, but I mean, you were expelled from
your
school.
Child so hard, we are not in support of it.
Yeah, but it is. We know exactly. We know how it plays out in Nigeria. So that's what I was just thinking about. I was trying to imagine myself getting expelled from school and the reaction of my parents and everything. This doesn't excuse it, though. We of course we preach. I always say anti-violence. Violence should be the very, very last resort, because the way children are brought up, when you beat them, they get used to it, and it's almost as if the beating doesn't do anything.
But you know the big question. This was like, your cause I got expelled. Yeah, you get
like
me?
A normal thing. Like, it was so something
like,
to just.
Bro, before you would move from suspension, from facing a panel to suspension to expulsion,
straight up expulsion.
What have you done? What exactly did he do? And of course, this is JJC Skillz. We are Nigerians. We don't pay small money.
Exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, we don't pay small money for school fees. So all of a sudden, I've invested so much, I've sacrificed a lot.
He actually did not seem sober about it. He didn't seem remorseful about it. Whatever would have led up to the expulsion.
What he did. We're not supporting JJC yet. But I also feel like, look, in other parts of the world, right? Of course, you can't touch a child. They'll call child service at you. But in Nigeria, it wasn't even my dad. My dad never raised a finger on me. But you know how many slaps my mama give me?
You were telling me before the show.
No, leave my mama now out of it. You know how many my immediate elder brother? Yeah, I'll commit an offense and I won't be able to talk about it. Do you know what this guy will be telling me? Guide! I said, me guide! And he throw me better blow, like punch it. But I took it and he built me. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes, right, when I know whenever hands in the air, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, everybody knows that there's a time where you actually make certain mistakes. This guy owned up to it, the Benito guy owned up to it. But at the same time, how bad was your mistake?
And he did say that his father actually apologized for everything after. So
I feel
I'm
like
sure
this is
probably
clout
it was just in the heat of the moment. No, we know the whole controversy between his mom and Funke and JJC.
She released as baby. I'm hoping to sue her.
Yeah, and she was just saying, Funke was just saying that she didn't want to
show
the faces of her children, and
brought out the 2
seconds you brought out the face this is what we always say, whatever you are doing, let us deal with it, man to man, woman to man, but leave these children out of it. These are children that, okay, I do not want my children out there, and you've violated my privacy, my right to putting on my children when I want to or when I feel they are ready. You've taken that away from me, and now this whole thing.
I hope she sues them. Because for me, right, in as much as I want to sympathize with this boy, but now started calling out his father like a villain. Now this is somebody that brought you to the world. My dad has done a lot of things that I don't like, that I do not appreciate. But if you're a family-oriented person, right, taking a beating every now and then doesn't mean it has to be, because he said he felt a part of his face swelling and swelling and swelling, it on the neck, it on the chest, bruises on the ribs. Yeah, maybe that was extreme. But I think it's time for you to make peace with what you have, especially when these people are still alive. This is still your father. I don't know the relationship between your father and your mother, right?
Because until he put out this post, he was actually on his dad's page.
Do you get what I mean? He was wishing you a happy birthday. He was doing everything to make sure that you're good.
So
it's still probably paying child support.
No, to an extent, they still probably had a relationship, but based on this whole fracas between Funke and JJC's other wife or ex-wife, I think. This is why, okay, of course, he has to take sides with his mom. I have to speak up for my mom and everything. So, is it this when we talk about things like this? I want to know that, like, this thing we talk about, do not buy your friends' enemies, do not buy your. Yeah. Is it so easy when it comes to family? Because you will not hurt my mom. If you hurt my mom, you automatically become my family. You automatically become my enemy. So, to an extent, I also understand why he's lashing out like this. It doesn't excuse the fact that.
I think this one is going out to all the kids out there. Your father and your mother's burden is not yours.
Exactly.
So you need to build an individual relationship with them. So the thing is, I'm the last child. I told you I spent a lot of time at home as well. My mom tells me everything. My dad also tells me everything. But one thing I never do is choose sides. I love both of them. Do you get what I mean? Now, I remember the good times when my father was there, and I remember the good times when my mother was there. So because my mother is hot at the moment doesn't mean I will now make it like this. My mother
But do you know the difference in this situation? The fact that it seems as if JJC is more inclined to Funke's side of it.
Well, so of course... That's why I was even getting to that. So now, your mother is definitely emotionally hurt. She has a son with this man, right? Which is you, right? So of course she will say the dandiest things. Of course everything he does at that moment is wrong, even when he's trying to be right. But this is a man that has moved on. My hands are still like this because I'm talking about equality here. Now this is the time where you need to now figure out exactly where you want to be with the both of them. It's not where you want to be with this person. So your mother is emotionally hurt. She's telling you things. She's doing. JJC, I'm not, but I don't know these things, right? So I cannot judge him.
We do not know the details.
Yeah, we don't know the details. We don't know what the woman did to him. We don't know all of those things. But let's even assume that JJC is the most terrible man in the world. You're a man. You're becoming a man as well. You know that you are not perfect. That guy looks like somebody that has plenty. You know, I got a lot of girls in the ends, man. The girls be calling me up. They be calling my phone all the time. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like that type of guy. The guy that even do fine boy.
Okay, well, you can't take away the fact that he's actually a very fine boy, so.
You fine person.
If do you want me to answer you?
Please don't, my sister. Let's leave it as what it is.
Well, at the same time, that one thing I know for certain is I understand where he's coming from. I totally understand where he's coming from, and at the same time, what he's talking about, it's not as if he's lying. He's actually giving us facts and everything. So I understand where he's coming from. Probably
I think we are talking as Nigerian kids. You know, the show also airs in the UK as well. So a lot of people are probably watching like, my dad lays a hand on me, man. I probably shank at me, get me? Like,
I'm sure if you go here in this country to go, your parents,
you won't go test
like,
your
you want to
papa
go report in police station.
we want there. So, well, let's just put it in the global retrospect, right? So it doesn't seem like it is only our culture which is admissible. So for every child out there that's been abused, for every child out there that feels like you cannot take it anymore, you don't have to wait this long. So we're just saying it based on how we have experienced and how we grew up. But the truth is, man, if you're being abused by your father, your mother, your brothers, anybody, feel free to speak up. And so we support Benito and we also support JJC.
Right, let's just leave it at that till we know the full details. Because I understand where everybody in this story, I try to understand where everybody in this story, both Funke, JJC's other wife, Benito, JJC. Well, this morning,
spare the rod and
spoil the child. But then again, the whole bruising, his face swelling up, you know that is...
They never wipe you with your back tear before.
I can't relate to. They never wipe me like that.
Hey!
No.
We are not Nigerian. Okay. You're a PH girl now. You guys are fresh. You guys have money. You have oil.
Please, okay.
You guys have money. They will flog you.
But then again, like I always say, violence is not...
It's not the answer.
You shouldn't just set
violence. I was having a chat with my brother. We need to go on a quick music break, but I'll just put this in there. I was, yesterday I was playing a lot with, my nephews and my nieces, and you know me, I love kids. I love to play with kids and stuff. So I was playing so much, and my brother was like, now come on, now you don't even make them shout. I can't say, first. So this is the way you do now. Let's see now, waiting my wife, me and my children, go and play inside and come back with mud. And then my wife is all of you, raise up your, and kneel down, I will kneel down with the kids. Because I can bet I'll be dirty as well. And nobody will take away that child from me.